Hey everybody, it's Jane Johnston with the Bar Hill Group at Remax Camosun, host of Vancouver Island Time. I'm here with Lisa Sigurdsson. How do you say your last name?
Yeah, you did well, Sarah Garrison. Yeah,
And what's the origin of that name?
that is Icelandic. I'm third generation Icelandic Canadian.
Cool. I have a good friend who's Icelandic, actually. She lives in Ontario and she's part of an Icelandic Canadian association. And her name is
The Icelandic, the Icelandic National League of North America.
Yes. Yes, and she was actually really instrumental in changing my life. She got me a job working with National Geographic teaching.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Yeah. So, and that your last name and your heritage sort of relates to what you do and why you're here today, right? You are the Singing
Amma.
Amma.
Amma means grandmother in Icelandic.
And are you a grandmother?
I am. I have two biological and another one that calls me Amma, so I have three. And they're big now. They're 14, 13, and 9.
So we say in our household, we have 2 by multiplication and 1 by addition.
There you go. There are ways of claiming our families.
It's a compliment when somebody wants to claim you as to be part of your family, right?
Totally, yeah.
So the reason why I asked you to be on the show is because my good friend Colleen Adrian recommended you, and anything that Colleen says, I do. And I have a client who is an awesome musical person, but she's not on Facebook. So I'm hoping she'll be able to follow you on YouTube. Are you loading up any of your songs or singing that you do on Tuesdays and Thursdays onto YouTube?
I haven't yet, but I will. Because I've been looking for ways to find which platform to stream from so that I can reach people who aren't on social media, because I know a lot of people aren't on Facebook in particular. So
how often are you actually online doing your singing?
Singing live. Right now, in the very beginning, when the whole pandemic hit and we all went into isolation, I came on, I think 7 days the first week, 7 days a week, then 5 days a week for a couple of weeks. And now I'm doing 2 mornings a week. I mean, people, we sort of got back into the groove of life, and people weren't quite so desperate to have stuff to turn to.
Direction, yeah.
Yeah. But I come on 9:30 till 10, Tuesday and Thursday mornings. That's Pacific time. And I'm singing fun songs for young ones, I call it. And they're action songs that we can learn to do with our toddlers, preschoolers, even primaries. So I'm doing that 2 days a week regularly. And then I was also doing adult sing-alongs in the evenings. And again, that first couple of weeks, I was on there 4 or 5 times a week. And I haven't done one for a couple of weeks, so I'm overdue. And I jump on, and I don't have a specific time, but I will create that. And then I was doing sing-alongs for adults. And we were doing really simple things that a lot of people know, like You Are My Sunshine and This Little Light of Mine. And my focus with both of these was to really invite people to sing, because I know how good for us singing is. In fact, my recent column, I write a column once a month in a print magazine here on Salt Spring.
Right.
And the one coming out in June is all about why sing, because singing is so good for us. And I would find myself saying to people as I was encouraging them to sing along from home, how it's going to strengthen our lungs and it's going to fill us with endorphins, so our immune system's going to be pumped, and all these reasons to be singing. Plus, it just feels so good.
It is, yeah.
And so people were loving it, I think, just the feel-good part of it even,
So you were mentioning primary, so that's a term a teacher would use, or an ECE. Is that your background?
Yes, I have a background in ECE, early childhood education. Yeah, I've worked in
Go ahead.
Well, I worked in the high school as well, actually high school level we called them then paraprofessionals. And then I had to leave that job a few years ago when I got sick.
Okay, are you okay now?
Well, I have severe rheumatoid arthritis. So when I do my action songs with the kids, I'm sitting down and and some of them, they're up jumping around. So I have little stuffies. I don't know if you can see them. Where are they?
Yep.
Oh, right behind me. I have little stuffies and I let them do the jumping around on my lap.
And who's your audience? Like, are you getting people from Salt Spring or elsewhere as well?
I'm getting a lot of people from Salt Spring, partly because I started it we have a Mama Tribe group on Facebook. And I met a lot of them because I was doing full-time childcare, private childcare before isolation happened. Because of the rheumatoid that I live with, I can't be around kids at all now for a while. But anyway, I met a lot of those mamas, so a lot of them are still coming. I've got some people in the Vancouver Island area, some in Victoria, some in the Cowichan, Cobble Hill, all those kinds of areas. I've had some people from Iceland pop on, whether they have kids or not, they're there. I've got some people, I've got somebody way up north in Vancouver Island, way up north, like Campbell River. And some people in Britain too, Scotland and England.
I imagine the timing would be good actually if they're in Britain, because if you're at 9:30, it would be 7:30 in Britain, or no. Yeah, it would be around there. Yeah. Are you are people allowed to make requests, or do you just determine what the schedule is going to be?
I determine it loosely. In fact, with this Fun Songs for Young Ones, I tend to sing the same songs each time, almost the same set list. And part of the reason I do that, I always start with the same song and end with the same song. And part of the reason I do that is because when we're under stress and the cortisol in our body is heightened and we're all kind of panicky, and even if we don't feel stressed, we've all been living under so much more stress with all of this pandemic experience.
Mm-hmm.
And when we know what's coming, when we know what to expect, it helps our brains to be calm and lessen anxiety. So, and partly also, so that's the main reason. And then the other reason is that little kids love repetition, and that's partly why they do. And so, and we all love repetition. We just don't actually realize how much we get from it and how much we like it. But so I've been singing mostly the same, but I will say, if you want it, let me know what song you want to sing next. And if I know it, I'll sing it, and if I don't, then I'll learn it, kind of thing. And I've done that a couple times.
Well, I think the little kids like to do the repetition because then they have a sense of accomplishment because they master it, right?
Exactly. That's how they learn it. Yeah.
I remember the commercial of the kid, little boy. He's by the fridge, and he's got the ice cube machine, and he's pressing it over and over and over again, and all these ice cubes are falling out. And that was the point they were making.
Yeah.
So, for your parents, are you doing the same format? Is it repetitive, or are you
with the adult sing-alongs?
Oh, adult, sorry.
Yeah, not necessarily parents. I had a pretty small set list just because I wanted them to be songs that were familiar to people. But then I started adding in some of my own songs. I am a singer-songwriter. And so I started adding in some of my own songs that seemed pertinent. There's one that's called Let There Be Peace, and it is very repetitive, and there's a lot of words that are really easy to pick up on. And it's basically a song of prayer, almost, just wanting peace, starting here and here, thinking and the words, and then moving out into the world and coming back to the self. So, and I thought that even though we weren't in a wartime, it's a great thing always to focus on is peace, I think.
I think we are anymore.
Yeah.
It feels like it.
I know it does, doesn't it?
It
Yeah.
re I always, I don't know, my parents grew up in Britain during the Second World War, and I don't know why, I just, like, have these memories of my mom talking about, the way the community came together and just the changes. So
Mhm.
I just see it. They actually started a theater. My grandparents and my
Oh,
grandparents and my mom and my aunt started a theater. My mom and my aunt were really young, but yeah.
cool.
Okay, so you also do some writing, right?
Yes. I do a lot of different kinds of writing, and one of them is that under the name the Singing Amma, I have a parenting advice column in this little local magazine called the Fishbowl Magazine on Salt Spring Island, and it's also available online for those people who aren't here to pick it up at a shop. Comes out once a month, and I get 500 words. So you send me your question through pregnancy all the way through graduation, and also grandparents sometimes send me in questions. And then I do my best within 500 words to give some advice that will actually make a difference in your life.
So, what are the types of questions that you're getting right now? Because I have an 18-year-old who's about to graduate, and
Mm,
you know, for him, it was really upsetting. He wasn't going to be able to cross the stage and get his graduation. He's getting a double dogwood. So,
aw.
but it turns out now that they are. But for a while there, he was quite distressed. Are you helping them cope, or are they talking about how to deal with being all in the same place? How are you dealing with it?
Yeah, it's so hard for kids of all different ages. Everybody has their own difficulty with coping and the upsets that each of the different ages of kids are going through. Um, One of the questions that I did have was about how to keep kids away from the screens because I tend to, and it's so funny that I'm now doing all this on screen live sing alongs because I actually advocate for less screen, more green. I am a nature lover, 1,000,000%, and I want kids outside as much as possible. But, anyways, here we all are. And yes, I get outside every day, but I can't be with kids outside right now.
Right.
So I'm getting a few different questions. Of course, it's only once a month that I get to actually write and post something. Although if I got lots and lots of questions coming in, I could just put some of them on my blog. Just starting to get my blog going. So
That's awesome, though. I think sometimes we just need advice from somebody other than ourselves.
yeah,
Hey, that's a good idea.
yeah.
So tell me, how much has being Icelandic influenced you as an artist or as a person?
Mm. It really has, really hugely. And I will also just say that I am Scottish as well. My mom was born and raised in Scotland. I'm third generation Icelandic Canadian, so I'm much less Icelandic than I am Scottish. But we did grow up with my Icelandic grandparents as kind of the hub of our family wheel, I like to say. And my Scottish Nana was there with us a lot, actually, too. But it really has influenced, I think, who I am. Family is a huge, huge um, part of Icelandic life. In Iceland, family is like top number one priority. And
Mhm.
that's certainly been the way for me my whole life and my adulthood. And that's what I do for a living. And, I've written a number of songs that pertain to my Icelandic
In
heritage.
Iceland.
Family is like top
Sorry.
number one
What?
life in my adulthood, and that's what I
Sorry.
do for a living. And
My phone just went crazy.
yes, yes,
Sorry.
started talking to me in my own voice. Poor thing.
Okay, keep going.
Oh, technology. Yeah, so one thing that was really exciting, in 2016, I actually got flown to Iceland to perform some of the music that I've written that pertains to my heritage.
That's awesome.
That was super fun. That was super awesome. Yeah.
You know what I find, because I deal with I'm in real estate, and people identify with the heritage. It has nothing to do with how close or whatever.
Mhm.
It has to do with the stories, and there's stories in songs, right?
Totally. Yeah.
So whatever stories, I mean, my mom was a big storyteller. My
Mm.
dad, not so much. So even though my last name is Johnston, my mom is Welsh, and
Oh.
when she recently passed away, we told a lot of Welsh stories.
Mm.
The people in the church were like, "Where's that?" You know, like, "You look Scottish. What are you doing telling us Welsh?"
I love Wales. I love Wales. I was there once. Love it.
So, are your songs Icelandic in nature?
Well, some of them are, and I am preparing. I'm going to make this public announcement now. I've been working for a while on a show that I am calling For the Love of Iceland. And my vision when I do it live is to have, and this may be possible to do online, but I don't know the technology yet. If you do, maybe you can share with me later.
Okay.
But my vision for the in-person performance is that I have a screen on which I project photographs of Iceland from that I've taken when I've been there. I am a storyteller, so I will tell some stories, and I'll let people know about the history of the Icelanders coming to Canada. Like there was a Republic of New Iceland in north of Winnipeg in the late 1800s. Who knew?
I
And
didn't know that.
I didn't, as an Icelandic Canadian, I didn't even know that until I started really getting into my heritage not that long ago, about 15 years ago. So I'm writing this show, and it's going to be some storytelling. I wanted also to have a screen where I could put up some words and teach people a few fun words to learn, but I want them to be able to see them because there's a few cool letters in Icelandic. And then sing the songs that I've written that pertain to my heritage, which, as you say, are stories. Really, most of them are stories.
That's awesome. I think actually you could do that very easily. So if you
Cool.
need help, let us know.
Oh, I'd love to. Okay, I'll hit that.
So, your background is in early childhood education, right?
Yes, yeah.
And so has that influenced the way you were talking about the repetitive nature, but has that influenced the way you're teaching these classes? And what do you plan to do after COVID-19?
Well, absolutely, it influences how I perform with the children, especially because I become a preschool teacher when I'm there, and and that's been really fun. And people are sometimes interacting with me on comments, which I love. And if people are listening in from far away, I also love to find out where they're listening from. I had somebody from Australia yesterday. I know her from here, but they're stuck in Australia right now, and so that was really fun. And yeah, it definitely is influenced. What do I plan to do in the future? I mean, I'm hoping that I'll be able to get back to the private childcare that I was doing because I fall in love with my little people and my adorable little guy, that I was with 30 to 40 hours a week. I just, I'm so in love with him. And so I'm missing him. Um,
We had
and
a childcare person like that too,
what's that?
We had a childcare person like that. So she, even though she's actually, I'm trying to think, she must be like only 6 years older than me, but she was like her kid's grandma.
Oh,
So
yeah.
her kids they're probably 15 years older than my children.
Yeah.
She had them younger,
Right.
and when we moved into our house right now, we're quite near where she lives. And my kids were so excited because they could walk over. My son used to just go over and just say hi.
Nice. Nice. That's so great.
It is nice. How
Yeah.
long have you been doing that for?
Doing which?
Doing the early childhood ECE stuff at
Oh, I got
daycare.
my ECE training back in 82. Yeah, back in the 80s, early 80s.
And how long have you been doing private childcare?
Well, I did private childcare before I ever had my certificate. It's one of my passions, and I was really Salt Spring Island's babysitter, one of the main babysitters, I guess, in the 70s. Um, when I was a teenager, people would leave me with their children for 2 or 3 weeks at a time while they'd go away, and I would just run the whole show. It was awesome. I didn't think it was strange. I was 15 years old. It was perfect. Um, yeah, and then I worked in daycares, I worked in nursery schools. I opened my own nursery school here on Salt Spring in the mid-80s when my daughter was a baby. And then I got hit really hard with rheumatoid after I'd been working actually in the high school for a while. And I got hit really hard. I was bedridden for a number of years, actually. And then I started teaching. I've been teaching this parenting education course called How to Talk So Kids Will Listen and Listen So Kids Will Talk.
Oh, yeah. I
They,
think
they
yeah,
in the book by that name.
yeah.
And so I've been facilitating that course since my daughter she was born in 85, so probably since mid 86. Late 86, I'd started teaching it or facilitating it. It's really taught by the authors. And then after I got sick and I started having a bit of energy and wanting to do more with my life than lie in bed and be in pain, I started teaching out of my living room. And so I'd have 6 to 10 people coming and doing the course with me here in my home. And that was super great to get back at it.
Now I know why Colleen and you get along so well.
Yeah. Okay.
That's her focus. And so you were offering counseling now, right?
I am. I'm offering parenting coaching and support via either phone calls or like this FaceTime kinds of options, video conferencing on whatever different platforms we can both find. And I've had some really beautiful experiences throughout the last few months, really supporting people because it's stressful for kids being stuck with their parents all the time. I mean, some of them preschoolers and little ones, they're loving it for the most part, or they were originally. But kids are starting to really miss their friends and all of that. And, let's face it, we all go squirrely if we're around the same people every single day.
Yeah. I
Okay.
just took my daughter for a drive, actually.
Yeah.
And my son said, "Mom, why is she so excited?" I'm like, "She hasn't gone out in 6 weeks."
I
Hadn't
know.
really gone out, right?
I get to visit outside at my daughter's and my grandson's house. And well, they have property here on Salt Spring, and we visit a few feet apart. And one day she was popping into, oh, I think it was to get me a Mother's Day gift. She goes, "I've got to get to town quick to get your Mother's Day gift before," because stores all have such short hours now. Um, and Jordan, my 13-year-old, he's like, "I want to come." She goes, "Well, you can't come in the store with me." "That's okay. I just want to come. I want to like see a different view from it." you know, yeah.
It's
So,
so true.
so the coaching has been the online and over the phone has been really, really wonderful. Um, I am thinking of offering the course online too, if I could find a platform where I could have like this one that you're using and or Zoom, where a number of people can be in a room together so that we could create a group. So I am considering doing that. And if I had 10 people interested, I would do it. So
I think that Zoom is better than this platform for sure.
cool.
Yeah, you can fit 50 people in if
Yeah,
you
yeah. Well, I can't work with that many, but I can work with 10 to 20 somewhere in there.
Yeah. You know what, so I went to choir. Have you heard?
Oh,
And they were very good. They sang a song. We sang a song that I didn't know all the words to, but they take you through it and they give you they have like kind of karaoke, the words up on the screen, and then you do need somebody else to help you go through it, but yeah, it worked really well. It was so much fun, and by the end, everyone's grooving together. So
Oh, yeah. Well, I hadn't thought about doing the singing in a group. I think about doing
the coaching.
parenting course. The
Oh,
actual,
okay, yeah.
yeah, it's a 7-week course in over the course of 7 weeks, once a week.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Do you want to share? We have a few minutes left. Do you want to share a song?
Sure.
If
What
you want to.
song? What kind of song should I do? I guess I ought to do one for the kids since I am the singing Amma. Do you know what was really fun that I realized when I got this? Because I was doing the private childcare really full time for the first time in a long, long time this past year. And I sing to him all the time. And I've done that my whole life, but I didn't really realize how apt my name is, the Singing Amma. And in fact, I'll share with you the way I got that name, the Singing Amma, was my granddaughter. She's 14 now. When she was a toddler, I made my first album. It's called Still Hold True. It's available on lisamax.com. And it, on the, I'll sing, that's what I'll sing. I'll sing the first track, part of the first track off that album. And it's kind of upbeat. And I've had a few little kids back in the day when the album was new and it was being played a lot. It kind of vied for top place with Baby Beluga.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That was pretty high praise. And so when my granddaughter wanted to hear Aya, the song is called, she would say, I want the singing Amma. And that's where the name came from.
Awesome.
So Aya means I love you in my daughter's toddler language. She would say, Aya, mama, Aya, mama.
Oh.
Yeah. And on the, I think I've got that song on the singingama.com. And on the track, at the very end of the track, you actually get to hear her when she was a toddler. My sound engineer, my recording engineer, managed to take that clip off a cassette tape and somehow digitalize it and put it onto the album. I was so excited. So yeah, it means I love you. And this is kind of a fun little sing-along. The chorus goes, Aya, 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 I do. So it's easy.
Okay, I'm not going to sing along with you because I don't want to torture anybody.
Okay, I'll let it go this time. But when I'm singing live on Facebook, I won't be able to hear or see you. So you sing it out. Right now, you make your choice.
Okay, I'm going to put you on solo.
Okay.
Go for it.
I'm going to go over here. All right. I should have a shaker and I don't have one. That's okay. I want to sing with you. I want to dance with you. I want to laugh with you. Oh, how I love to be with you. Aya, 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 aya. Aya, aya, I do. Aya, 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 aya. Aya, aya, I do. Such a short time we've been together. Seems like a lifetime or two. Never knew I could love another the way that I love you. Aya, 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 aya. Aya, aya, I do. Aya, 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 aya. Aya, aya, I do. Aya, aya, I do. Aya, aya, I do.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That was amazing. Okay, so I think that's a good way to end. So if you guys want to follow Lisa, you can follow her 9:30 to 10 p.m. Tuesdays and Thursdays. And do they
AM.
AM?
Thank you.
Of course.
When the kids are awake.
Okay, so 9:30 to 10 a.m. And do they just go to your Facebook page?
Yeah, the Singing Amma Facebook page.
Okay. Yeah. And if you want to get in touch with her, you can reach her at Lisa Searson. How do you say it?
That's good. Go for
Searson Max at gmail.com, or you can follow her at the Singing Mama and you can reach her at thesingingamma.com if you want to look for her songs. Okay, thank you so much. Hold on, I'm just looking here. I've got 5 comments. Colleen Adrian says hello.
Oh, hi, Colleen.
Yami Martinez, who is a realtor in California, is saying how sweet.
Oh, nice. Thank
And
you.
Colleen says, thanks for blessing us with your beautiful voice and music, Lisa.
Aw, you're most welcome. And thank you for connecting Jane and I. Thank you, Jane. This was really fun.
No problem. I'm so glad you were able to make it. And let us know when your counseling is going on, and we'll share it to our group as well. Okay?
Yeah, thank you so much.
No problem. So on Monday, actually, we're going to have Colleen Adrian. She's going to be talking to us about parenting and counseling parents on Monday. On Tuesday, we have our regular Tuesday with our lawyer, our mediator, and our financial divorce specialist, because we all know that this is causing a lot of stress in families. We want to help you through it. And then on Wednesdays, we're going to be talking with Jill Moran. She's going to be talking to us about her yoga and how she's pivoted her Exhale Yoga program for people working from home now. So thank you. And don't forget, by the way, on my YouTube page to please like me and follow me, subscribe, so that we can start doing more on YouTube for you. All right, see you. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, Jane.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.